We're starting with the one thing that you asked for all of last week. You said it was a rivalry week that everybody remained rather calm. It seemed almost
Yes.
too respectful between the Ravens and the Steelers. Well, Myles Garrett said, "We're not doing that. We're not doing the respectful thing. We're going to bring back some things from January of
Yes.
last year because of course everybody remembers TJ Watt wasn't too happy to lose defensive player of the year to Myles Garrett, and he had some choice words today about TJ's response, saying, quote, "I've never complained about the trophy not being at my house or vice versa. He shouldn't feel two ways about it going to me. I don't play against TJ. He doesn't play against me." And then he went on to say, "It's up for grabs this year. May the best man win." What are your thoughts
Okay.
on Myles Garrett starting up the trash talk in Browns week?
Let me just send a quick reminder to everybody who, I mean, like myself and probably like TJ Watt has let this go. We've moved on. This is a new season. TJ Watt's on a whole other tear. It's just a different world, different life. We've come a long way since then. TJ Watt finished with a league leading 19 sacks last season. Myles Garrett had 14. He had 1 in the last 6 games of the season. TJ Watt had more tackles for loss, quarterback hits, fumble recoveries, interceptions, and they were tied with forced fumbles. Excuse me. TJ Watt also had a game-winning touchdown against, well, none other than the Cleveland Browns. So he probably should have won. And I think the being pissed off was warranted at the time, but that's not the conversation. The conversation is that Myles Garrett is still bringing it up. And it's just, I feel like I bag on the Browns a lot. The Browns are the Browns. I think they deserve it to be. There are a lot. Like, I respect the Baltimore Ravens a lot. And if they're going to talk trash, at least they back it up. The Browns almost never back it up. They just talk a lot. Myles Garrett was handed an award last season. We had this conversation before. There's really no need to have it again. He was handed an award last season because Myles Garrett needed to get the award. The NFL determined long ago that Myles Garrett was one day going to go down as this Hall of Fame defender before he ever played a snap in the NFL. TJ Watt really won the award. And you see how Myles Garrett won it and then fell off, and there's no more talk of Myles Garrett in the race. Why? Because Myles Garrett shouldn't have been in the race. The only reason he was in the race was because, well, he's Myles Garrett and he needed to win one. That's the unfortunate truth. So while Myles says, and I think it's not the he shouldn't worry about it. It's the I never cared if the trophy was in my house or not. No duh, pal. It shouldn't be in your house. Shouldn't have been in your house. There was never. TJ Watt has been snubbed of this award potentially 3 times throughout his career. Myles Garrett won the award 1 time on a kind of like a feel-good situation. Like, hey, you know, this guy, he's been working hard, man. He puts crazy social media videos out there. He deserves it. We're going to make up some stats to make sure he gets it. That's kind of what happened there. I feel like it's weird, man. Like, it's weird, you know, to fire back and say, if he just said like, yeah, like, you know, I try to avoid that stuff. I respect TJ. There are a billion other ways to go about it. To sit there and say like he shouldn't care about it, like, yeah, dude. I mean, that's why there's a difference between you and TJ Watt. You know, there's a pretty significant gap on who's a better football player, and TJ holds the ground there. So, I mean, everybody can say what they want about it, and it's decades old at this point. But sorry, Myles, you just look bad. It just looks I'd hate to call Myles Garrett weak because he's Myles Garrett. He could squish me like an ant, but it comes off a little soft. If you're going to ask me. 400,000. That's how many men have rescued their nuts from stiff, unforgiving jeans, all thanks to the perfect jean. These jeans have enough stretch to accommodate Thanksgiving dinner and are comfy enough to wear all day watching Sunday football. Plus, even though they feel like sweatpants, they look good enough to be your go-to pants for date night. The perfect jean has the perfect size for everybody, and we mean everybody. They've got 6 different fits, waists running from 26 to 50 and lengths from 26 to 38, which means there are over 5 1,000 possible combinations of pants for you to choose from. So if you're a short king or actually 6'5", if you love a loose fit or are still in your skinny jean era, or if you're bulking up or cutting down, the perfect jean is the perfect option for you. For a limited time, our listeners get 15% off their first order plus free shipping at theperfectjean.nyc, or Google The Perfect Jean and use our code ALLSteelers15 for 15% off. It's finally time to stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Our listeners get 15% off your first order plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use code ALLSteelers15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code ALLSteelers15. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Fuck your khakis and get the perfect jean.
And here's the thing. Nobody is trying to take away the fact that Myles Garrett is one of the top 10 defenders in the National Football League. But he's a stat merchant with worse stats than TJ Watt. I don't think that's the guy you should be trying to target. Yes. Right? I mean, you look at last year, you read down the stats. It was TJ Watt in every single category. You look at their careers. It is TJ Watt in every single category. You look at the records of the two teams. It is far and away TJ Watt with the Pittsburgh Steelers than Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Browns. So you're a stat merchant with worse stats. I think you should try to punch in your own weight class and not punch up like he's doing here with TJ Watt. But like I said, we like it. It's a short week. It gets everybody's blood flowing. And if you're 2-8, I guess you got to do something to get yourself juiced and ready for this Thursday night game.
I agree. I love some good trash talk. I'm glad we got some good trash talk, and those are the teams that talk the trash. It's the 2-8 teams that usually do the bad talking. The Ravens aren't going to walk around talking trash. The Kansas City Chiefs aren't going to walk around talking trash. It's the Raiders who talk the trash about the Chiefs. It's the Browns that talk the trash about the Steelers.
It's the Bears that talk the trash about the Packers.
Exactly. It's the bad teams that talk the trash because good teams know not to talk the trash because they just play football and they win. That's the difference. So shout out the Browns, man. And I'm sure TJ is going to hear it. I'm sure JJ's already sent it to his phone and said, "Hey, pal, just in case you missed this one." So he'll be fired up. And I mean, look, Jason Kelce used to look at Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham and say, "Hey, dude, will you shut up, please? Because that guy's he's got to go against me, not you, pal." Jameis should be doing the same thing and saying, "Dude, I don't know if you realize, but all of our offensive tackles are hurt. Stop talking. We need everything we can against TJ Watt." So shout out Myles Garrett, man. Shout out Myles Garrett.
Man, if there was ever a week to break out a TJ Watt 2-point conversion, this would be the week. This would be the week, but we all know that's never going to happen.
Can he? What are the odds he scores a touchdown in 2 seasons in a row against the Browns? Doesn't have to be a game winner, but just a touchdown.
I was thinking more on the offensive side of things, but if he scores a touchdown at all, still very slim because the Steelers have not, other than Beanie Bishop once, they haven't come close to scoring that defensive touchdown yet. So I would put it at a 20% chance just because it's TJ versus the Browns, and you always got to give him chances.
I agree. I think it would definitely send some shockwaves. Would probably secure. It would re-spark this conversation for sure, and it would probably send shockwaves throughout the entire snowy, nasty city of Cleveland. So shout out Myles Garrett. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. See all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. And for any that you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help you cancel them with just a few taps. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of your expenses across all accounts, easily creates a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track, and sees your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Get alerts if your bills increase in price, there's unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over your budget. And the new goals feature automatically saves money for you without you even having to think about it. Whether your goal is to pay off your credit card debt, put away money for a house, or just build your savings, Rocket Money makes it easy. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you, sometimes up to 20%. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save. Then you can ask them to negotiate for you. They'll deal with customer service. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. They could save members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. That's rocketmoney.com/allsteelers. rocketmoney.com/allsteelers.